thank you for fronting up. Can you put into words your emotions, please?
I think devastation comes to mind. You always think that these things can happen, but you never think it's actually going to happen to you and to the club. And I just feel for everybody associated with the club. You know, I understand the anger and frustration that's going around at the moment, and I think the only thing I can do is appeal for calm. And we need to take stock and think about things carefully and make some decisions which are in the best interest of Bristol Rovers Football Club.
Not everybody was calm at full time. How did it feel when a lot of fans directed their anger towards you and the board? It's
inevitable, isn't it? You know, ultimately the chairman and the board take responsibility for whatever happens at the club. We make the appointments, we run the club, so it's only right that we should take the flak when things go wrong. This is a sad, sad day for Bristol Rovers Football Club, and I can assure you it won't be the end of Bristol Rovers Football Club. We'll come back fighting.
Darryl Clark close to tears. He says he takes responsibility as the manager. You as chairman, how much responsibility do you take for Rovers relegation?
Well, I think ultimately the chairman does take responsibility at the end of the day. You know, we've just got to make sure that we make the right decisions now on what's the best for Bristol Rovers, both on and off the pitch. We don't make any immediate decisions, because in my experience those are usually the wrong decisions.
In hindsight, did you make the right decision replacing John Ward with Darryl Clark?
I don't think that was an issue really, because Darryl had been at the club for the best part of a season, and the agreement I had with John in the beginning is he would come and he would help us, and he did an excellent job last season in, you know, when we got to a sticky patch and pulling things around, and he was going to bring in a manager to supersede him so that he could ultimately take the position of director of football. It would have been a very difficult decision to make if I brought in a new manager when I brought Darryl in, but Darryl had been at the club, he'd been involved in the coaching, he'd been involved with the players, he knew the players inside out, so it was a progression. So I don't ultimately think that was the reason for our demise this season.
How certain are you that Darryl Clark will be manager of Bristol Rovers next season?
Well, Darryl has a contract to be manager of Bristol Rovers next season. That's as certain as anyone can be about anything at this point in time.
And are you considering your position as chairman tonight at all? Are you here for the duration?
I think ultimately, you know, you have to take the emotion out of these situations, and I have to consider everything from top to bottom, everything to do with the football club. And as I said, knee-jerk reactions tend to be the wrong reactions. You have to take the emotion out of everything, you have to sit down and consider things, and I will consider everything in the light of what's happened today, and I'm sure that we'll come to some conclusions sometime in the next week.
You spoke about the stadium many times. Has that been a distraction at all for Bristol Rovers?
I don't think so. I think they're two completely different issues. We have discussions about the stadium and decisions made about the stadium. We have discussions made about the playing staff, appointment of manager, backroom staff. I don't think the two come into it at the end of the day. Ultimately, we've had a pretty not unsuccessful side for the last 2 or 3 seasons, and we've tried to do something about it. We thought we'd achieve something last season by turning the corner. Unfortunately, it hasn't happened this year.
Is the stadium still going to happen, or is that now in doubt?
The stadium and the football and the playing side are not linked in any way. The plans for the stadium still continue. What we need to do at this point in time is look at the situation with the football club going into the conference, and the effect it has on both playing and non-playing staff and backroom staff, and we have to look at the whole club from top to bottom. And we know in that context we have to look at ourselves as well.